Okay, class, let's start with the discussion. Topic protein. We will be covering the following topics or following contents. For protein, we have synthesis and catabolism or production and breakdown of protein. We have structure. Basically, kasama talaga dapat yan dahil we are talking about biochemistry. So biochemical structure, classification, plasma proteins, other plasma proteins, and methods of analysis. So starting with synthesis and catabolism, or production and breakdown. No? So proteins class are considered as amphoteric. What do you mean by amphoteric? It means that proteins can be acid or base, no? Depending on the environment. So again, proteins can be either acidic or basic in nature. Next, synthesized in the liver. Class majority of proteins are produced by the liver. Take note of the term, kasi may mga students tayo na nalilito or nagkakaroon ng problem sa board exam, no? Exams because of those small details. When I say majority of proteins are produced by the liver, hindi ko sinabing absolute, di ba? Sabi ko majority or most. Ibig sabihin, there are proteins that are not there are proteins that are not produced by the liver. One good example, class, is antibodies. Okay? Sir, bakit po? Saan magaling ang antibodies? Antibodies came from what we call B cell. Okay? B cell is an example of a lymphocyte. Okay? Ang lymphocyte po is an example of what? A WBC. Okay? So this lymphocyte, once activated, it will produce what we call plasma cell, and eventually it will produce a specific antibody. So ganito yon. Example, nahawa ka ng COVID, no? Nahawa ka ng COVID-19. Your B cell will respond. Your B cell will be activated. So after exposure to the COVID-19, this B cell will become activated B cell. So once activated, it will produce plasma cell. And from being a plasma cell, it will become a specific antibody. Kasi class, we have 5 classes of antibodies. Ano ba yung 5 classes of antibodies? We have your IgG, IgM, IgD, IgA, and IgE. So, meron tayong 5 classes, and those specific types of antibodies are being produced dependent on the stimuli. Okay, mamaya makikita nyo meron tayong table niyan sa PowerPoint na nagpo-produce tayo ng specific antibody depende sa stimulant. Depende kung ano yung nag-trigger. No? Yun po yun. So, essential compounds composing 50% to 70% of the cell's dry weight. So, we have here, okay, synthesis and catabolism, nitrogen balance. So, balance between the production and breakdown of protein. As we all know, class, nagkakaroon tayo ng continuous destruction of proteins as well as production of new proteins to compensate. So yun yung tinatawag na negative nitrogen balance at positive nitrogen balance. May balance between the production and destruction of proteins. So most proteins in the body are constantly being repetitively synthesized and degraded, just like what I've said just now, no? So let us now proceed to structure, levels of protein structure. Yeah, so we have 4, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. So class, when we say primary protein structure, it is composed of amino acids in a specific sequence. So hindi siya composed ng series, hindi siya composed ng series of amino acid, no? So isa lang to, tulad niyan, primary structure. Pen natin. Sequence of amino acids. Pero pag yan class is sabihin na nating series of amino acids, we're now talking about secondary structure. Okay, regularly repeating structures stabilized by hydrogen bonds. Plus yung hydrogen bonds, yun yung yun yung covalent bond. Diba? Example, what connects ano ba yung chemical structure ng protein? Yan po ay CHON. And what binds your carbon? Diba? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Ano ba yung nagko-connect sa mga yan? Yung parang dash, di ba? Pag sinusulat natin biochemically, kapag sinusulat natin yung protein, CHON, meron yang mga dash line or connecting line, no? Those are the hydrogen bonds or covalent bonds. Ngayon, class, merong additional structure na kailangan if we are talking about series of amino acids being connected together. Okay? Kailangan natin dyan ng beta-pleated sheets and alpha helix. Okay? So may mga additional. Hindi kasi kaya ng walang additional components kapag series of amino acids na yung pinag-uusapan natin. Now, for tertiary structure, the overall conformation of the protein molecule, if I remember it right, due to interaction of side chains, ito class mas complex na yung ating proteins kapag tertiary. And usually, nagkakaroon na ng presence of folds. Yeah. Normally in class, no, that our proteins undergo folding, normally under normal condition, kapag nasa tertiary structure. Ngayon, let me share you something, class, no? Brief example lang. If there will be a misfolding, ang term ko is misfolding of proteins, it could give rise to a disease, or disorder. Okay? Example, so i-type ko na lang, we have what we call your prions. Okay? So ano yung prions or P-R-I-O-N-S? Prions or prions? P-R-I-O-N-S. What do you mean by prions? Ganito yun, prions arise due to misfolding of proteins. Again, prions arise due to misfolding of proteins. Isa yan sa mga cause ng transmissible spongiform encephalitis or mad cow disease, sa mga baka. Okay? Isa yan sa mga cause ng mad cow disease. Sa tingin ko, you have heard already what is mad cow disease, di ba? Na sakit sa baka. Meron din tayo class condition sa humans naman, due to prions. May konti akong kwento dito eh. So, as of now class, may mga tribes pa rin sa buong mundo. Meron pa rin mga cannibals, existing sa mundo natin. Example, sa Papua New Guinea. Okay? Sa Papua New Guinea class, maraming tribes doon. Okay? Maraming tribes. And from time to time, they are undergoing tribal war. Kapag namamatay yung kanilang kalaban, kinakain nila. Okay? Kinakain po nila yung karne ng nakalaban nila. Meron namang tribe na kapag namatay yung kanilang kamag-anak, yung namatay na kamag-anak, kinakain din nila. Okay? That is cannibalism, Ngayon, class, due to that particular practice, nagkaroon tayo ng misfolding in proteins. Kasi pag kinakain mo yung sarili mong, katulad yan, human to human, nagkaroon sila ng abnormalities sa kanilang genes, which codes for the proteins. Nagkaroon ng misfolding, giving rise to prions. Anong nangyari, class, nung na-infect na sila ng prions or prions? Tinawag natin yung tinawag nila yung laughing sickness. Sir, bakit laughing sickness? Kasi yung mga na-infect ng prions or prions, tawa sila ng tawa. Then afterwards, they undergo paralysis and eventually death. Alam niyo ba, class, na majority of the individuals affected by prions or prions or nung laughing sickness are women and children doon sa kanilang tribe. You know why? Kasi during eating time talaga, eating time, ng cadaver, nung patay na katawan, ang kanilang kamag-anak, ang nauuna lagi kumakain, mga lalaki. Okay? And class, kapag kinakain na ng mga lalaki yung katawan ng namatay, they tend to leave the brain. Okay? So, siguro hindi nila gusto yung lasa ng utak, no? Iniiwan nila yon or madalas na iiwan yung utak. Ang kumakain ngayon class ng mga naiwan, okay, since nauuna yung mga lalaki at naiiwan or pumapangalawa lang yung children and women pagdating sa kainan, naiiwan yung utak ng cadaver, majority ng kumakain ng utak are women and children, leading to the misfolding of proteins. Okay, so karamihan ng apektado mga babae at saka bata. Yan sila. Ang government ng Papua New Guinea, I think, may pumunta kasing scientist doon and na-explain sa kanila na gano'n yung nangyayari. Kaya lang, sabi, titigil na raw nila, ganyan. Pero, may information talaga, no? May source ako klase na nagsasabi na hindi pa rin tinitigil yung ganung practice. Okay? Actually, ang pinakamahirap kalaban class, sa totoo lang ng batas, no, ng kahit anong bansa, it would be two things. No? Para sa akin personally, number one, religion. Number two, culture. Kapag parte na ng isang tribo yung culture or culture na ng isang tribo yung cannibalism, it would be hard to remove. Katulad niyan, may news before na isang foreigner pumasok sa isang island, no? Isang inhabited island na ang meron lang doon ay mga tribes, mga tawag dito, yung mga ano bang term maganda doon? Sabihin yung mga tribes na hindi pa nagkakaroon ng contact sa other people outside the island. Pero pinilit niyang pumasok. Tapos pinatay siya class, no? Hindi niya nakuha yung katawan niya. Anong gagawin ng government? Kakasuhan ba? Ikukulong ba yung tribe na gumawa nun? Hindi. Kasi it is part of their culture and sinabi na bawal pasukin yung lugar na yon. Just imagine, no, nakapatay yung tribo, pero wala gagawin yung government. Hindi pwede kasuhan. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi natin na regarding prions. And natatransmit yan, class, if you will be exposed to fresh tissue. As nurses, syempre, from time to time, during operation, nahawak kayo ng patients, di ba? Fresh tissue during operation. So, always wear your PPE, gloves, mask, gown, no? Or your scrubs. So, dapat full gear. And always treat patient as potentially infectious. Always practice universal precaution. When we say universal precaution, we always treat biological samples, okay, either fluid or solid, to be potentially infectious. Huwag tayong mag-assume na, ang pogi naman ito. Hindi na ako mag-gloves. Hindi na ako magmamask. Parang ang bango-bango ng pasyente. Walang ganun, class, no? Maraming mga deceiving dyan na akala mo wala silang infectious disease pero meron pala. Akala mo walang communicable disease pero meron pala, di ba? So we should always wear PPE at all times. No excuses yan, di ba? Next, we have your quaternary structure. Arrangement of two or more polypeptide chains to form a functional protein. Example natin dito, class, when we say functional protein, ibig sabihin, it already has a purpose and function from the term, no? Kaya nga functional protein. One good example is ito, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin class is composed of heme and globin. Okay? Ano spelling ng heme? H-E-M-E. Ano naman yung globin? Alam niyo na yun, nandiyan na yun, globular protein. So, globin, no? So, yung globin class, that is the protein part of hemoglobin. Okay? Yun po yung protein part ng hemoglobin, yung globin part. Yung heme, it is composed of other structures including your iron. Naka-insert po sa loob ng heme ang iron. So, pag sinabing functional protein, kasi class, hemoglobin can carry oxygen, di ba? That is the main purpose of hemoglobin. Carry oxygen and then deliver it to the tissue. Once the oxygen is delivered to the tissue, hemoglobin now will carry the carbon dioxide and expel it out of the lungs. So ang hemoglobin parang ano yun delivery pick up, di ba? Magde-deliver ng oxygen going to the tissue, then afterwards it will pick up the carbon dioxide to be expelled outside the lungs. Yan po kaya nga yung pag nag-exhale tayo, pag nag-exhale ka, no, ang nilalabas mo carbon dioxide. Okay, pag nag-inhale ka, pinipick up mo yung oxygen. Okay, ganoon lang 'yon. Next classification. So, number 1, we have enzymes, hormones, transport proteins, okay, immunoglobulins. Class 4 enzymes, these are made up of also proteins. Yung enzymes natin class, one good indicator yan ng damage to cells. Take note that enzymes are intracellular. When I say intracellular, it means it is inside the cells. Let me give you an example. Kapag yung mga liver cells natin nasira, kasi dahil alcoholic ka, example, inom ka na inom ng alak araw-araw, liver cells will be damaged. No? Kapag nasira yung liver cells, enzymes will be released. Anong enzyme yon? SGPT or ALT. No? Yan yung enzyme na lumalabas sa liver kapag nasisira sila. Yan naman yung minimeasure sa laboratory. So, di ba, pagka nagpa-test yung mga lolo't lola nyo, tatay, nanay, tatay nyo, para malaman ni doctor kung merong possible damage sa liver, isa sa mga blood test na ginagawa ay request. Grabe, na makahinga, wait lang. Isa sa mga nire-request class is yung SGPT-ALT. Kapag mataas yung level of SGPT, it means maraming enzymes ang lumabas coming from the liver cells. And indication yan ng damage to liver cells. Hormones. O, di ba? Ito pa isa pa to, di ba? We have different types of hormones, which is also made up of protein yan. We have your transport proteins, such as albumin. Okay? The major transport protein in the body class is actually albumin. Okay? The major transport protein in the body is albumin. Bigyan ko kayo ng isang case no, wherein albumin is used as a transport protein. Class, kapag nasisira yung ating RBC, once our RBC undergoes cell lysis, either pathologic or physiologic. So pag sabi kong physiologic, ibig sabihin, normal na nangyayari, no? Remember, ang red blood cells natin, meron lang yan 120 days. And then after 120 days, it dies, di ba? O, physiologic yon kasi dadating yung time na masisira talaga yung RBC. So within 120 days. Ngayon, pag nasira yan, hemoglobin will be released and it will be catabolized or break down. Kapag nasira yan, class, mayroong lalabas na component. And one of those is bilirubin. Okay? Bilirubin. We have two types of bilirubin, B1 and B2. Yung tinatawag natin na unconjugated bilirubin or B1 and conjugated bilirubin or B2. Ngayon, class, kapag masyadong maraming bilirubin or masyadong maraming B1 or unconjugated bilirubin yung lumalabas coming from the RBC, pwede ka mag-undergo ng jaundice o yung paninilaw, no, ng sclera, ng skin, no. Tawag natin dyan is yellowish discoloration of the sclera and skin. So, naninilaw ka. Okay? Hindi ka hindi ka maninilaw kung yung B1 or unconjugated bilirubin will be converted into B2. And para mangyari yon, you need a transport protein which is albumin that will transport bilirubin or B1 going to the liver and process it to become a B2. Kasi yung B2 or unconjugated bilirubin, B2 or conjugated bilirubin, non-toxic form na yan eh. Okay? So bababa yung level ng B1 mo, hindi ka na maninilaw. Okay? Yan yung importance ng albumin. Just imagine kung wala kang albumin, damage yung liver mo, hindi mo siya nagpo-produce ng albumin, no? Ano mangyayari na lang sa'yo? Kaya pansinin nyo, class, kapag ka-damage yung liver, yung individual naninilaw pag may hepatitis, di ba? Remember class na the term hepatitis is a general term. It only means inflammation of the liver. Pero kung ano yung cause, hindi mo pa alam. Unless otherwise, it is determined. Example, pag sinabi kong alcoholic hepatitis, ibig sabihin the main cause of inflammation of the liver is due to alcohol. When I say hepatitis, when I say hepatitis due to Hepa B, that would be viral. No? It can be transferred via sexual intercourse, parenteral, okay, or injection. Okay. Meron din namang hepatitis na hindi natatransfer via sexual intercourse or blood transfusion or parenteral. Example, hepatitis A. Foodborne yun eh, di ba? Yung mga mahilig sa street food. Hepa A is foodborne. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya natatransfer via sexual intercourse or via transfusion. As well as alcoholic hepatitis. Hindi naman nakakahawa yung hepatitis kapag alcoholic eh. Okay? Alam niyo na siguro kung bakit nangyari yung alcoholic hepatitis. Ibig sabihin, pili kang uminom. Diba? Ginawa mong bisyo ang pag-inom ng alcohol. Okay? Next, we have your immunoglobulins. Nabanggit ko na yun kanina. Structural proteins, binanggitan na natin. Storage proteins and energy source. Glass. Yung, pwede bang gawing energy source ang protein? Yes. Particularly class, ginagawa to ng mga diabetic patients. Yung mga diabetic patients kasi specifically type 2, okay, we have two types of diabetes eh. Diabetes mellitus type 1 and diabetes mellitus type 2. Yung type 1, that is juvenile. Ano? Type 2 is type 2 is ako dito lang. Wait lang class. Okay, so type 1 and type 2. So type 2 is affected by diet. Ibig sabihin, in order to lower down your glucose level, you can lower down the intake of carbohydrates, no, which is rich in glucose. Pwede ka kumuha coming from other sources such as fats and protein. Okay? Kaya lang, merong drawback yung pagkuha ng energy or ATP coming from protein and fats. Pwedeng bumaba yung pH mo, maging acidic ka. Okay? Yun yung drawback. Yung mga keto diet, ganun eh. Walang carbohydrates, no more on fats and proteins. So I think that is effective kasi malaking factor talaga yung carbohydrates when it comes to tawag dito pagtaba ng individual, no? Kaya lang, again, may drawback. It can lower down your pH. It can, you can become acidic, no? Number 8, osmotic force. Class, just like what I have said earlier, majority of proteins in the body are produced by the liver. And take note, class, that proteins can affect yung balance of water or homeostasis. Kaya pag sininyo class, may mga damaged liver at hindi na nakapag-produce ng proteins properly, namamana sila. Kasi affected na yung production ng protein, affected na yung osmotic force or homeostasis or balance ng water sa katawan, no? And number 10, acid-base balance. Now, let me proceed with classification by protein structure. Simple proteins and conjugated. For simple proteins class, it contains peptide chains composed of only amino acids kapag simple. Maybe albumin or maybe globular such as albumin and immunoglobulin. Yung IG dito, that is immunoglobulin. Yan. Or fibrous connective tissue, tendon, bone, and muscle. When we say conjugated proteins, ibig sabihin nito, your protein is attached to a non-prosthetic group or non-protein group. Okay? Example, protein plus iron. Yan. O. Meron ka ng complex ng hemoglobin. Yan. Ano bang meron sa hemoglobin? Ano yung iron na naka-incorporate sa hemoglobin? Ano yung protein na naka-incorporate sa hemoglobin? that would be the globin part, no? And yung metal naman is the iron. Okay, so under yan ng metalloprotein. We also have your ferritin. Ferritin class is the stored form of iron. Alam nyo kasi, yung iron, hindi yan basta-basta nauubos sa katawan. Okay? Hindi basta-basta nauubos. Bakit? Yung iron natin sa katawan class, it is being recycled by the body over and over again. Okay? Unless you have an underlying condition which could lead to iron deficiency. Okay? Pero under normal condition, hindi, no? Kasi na-store yan eh. Either in the form of ferritin or hemosiderin. Okay? How about ceruloplasmin? Ceruloplasmin class is a copper binding protein. So ano yung metal part doon? Syempre yung copper, di ba? Again, ceruloplasmin is a copper binding protein. We also have your lipoproteins, lipids combined with your proteins. We have here the HDL, LDL, VLDL. Yung HDL class, it means high density lipoprotein, and that is what we call the good cholesterol. Yan yung mas maganda no yung health mo kapag mas mataas yung good cholesterol compared to bad. Ano ba yung bad cholesterol natin dito? That would be the low density lipoprotein or LDL. Aside from that, we also have your VLDL or the very low density lipoprotein. So next, we have your mucoproteins or protoglycans. Example natin dito, yung carbohydrate-rich mucin. We have your glycoproteins, no? Glucose combined with or sugar combined with the proteins. And lastly, we have your nucleoproteins. So aside from that, we have your what we call plasma proteins. Pag sinabi ko plasma proteins, ibig sabihin, these are the proteins circulating in your blood. Diba? Remember class, what do you mean by plasma? It means the liquid portion of anticoagulated blood. So nasa circulation mo yan. What are the proteins in your plasma? Madami to class, no? Isa-isahin natin. Starting with albumin. No? Albumin is the major transport protein. Okay? We have here the globulins and some fractions of globulins such as alpha-1, alpha-2, beta, and gamma globulin. Class, how can we differentiate these types of proteins? We can differentiate these proteins via what we call electrophoresis. So sa electrophoresis class, we can differentiate the proteins based on their migration. Yung kanilang travel sa medium ng electrophoresis. So kung papansin nyo, meron itong positive charge at saka negative charge. Okay? So gagamit tayo ng electricity dito sa electrophoresis in order to determine which proteins will migrate faster or slower. So kumbaga maghihiwa-hiwalay yung mga proteins mo sa blood if we will be using this method, yung electrophoresis. Katulad nito, we have here a spike no sa albumin. Kasi class, ang pinaka-smallest natin smallest protein natin sa body is albumin. So what do you expect, no? Sa takbuhan, anong mas nauna, payat o mataba? Walang to In general lang to hindi ko naman sinasabi na lahat ng mataba mabagal. Pero in general, yun talaga yung nangyayari, di ba? Na kapag mataba ka, we expect na mas mabigat ka at mas mabagal yung takbo mo. Same with this one. So alin yung mas mabilis yung travel at mas mahaba yung travel? Syempre mas maliit, di ba class? Kasi mas magaan siya. Same principle is applied here. Since albumin is the smallest type of protein, during migration on the medium of electrophoresis, mas mahaba yung kanyang travel at mas mabilis compared to other, katulad dito, mga napag-iwanan ng panahon, alpha-1, alpha-2. So, pwede mo nang i-differentiate yung mga proteins based on their travel distance. No? Magamit din tayo ng stain to appreciate the result. Katulad dito, anong kulay yan? Blue. Kasi ang ginamit nating stain, Kumasi blue. Okay? Ayan yung mga bands, no? Bands yung tawag dyan. Ang dami niyan. Yan. So, these are the bands. Okay? Representing the different proteins. Next, we have your pre-albumin, indicator of nutritional status. So we expect na, example lang, no, sa mga malnourished individual, we expect na mas mababa yung kanilang pre-albumin. For albumin, again, general transport protein and major contributor to osmotic pressure. Aside from that, we have your alpha-1 antitrypsin, acute phase reactant. Class, kapag nakikita niyo yung term na acute phase reactant, ibig sabihin lang niyan na there is an increase of that particular substance, katulad dito, alpha-1 antitrypsin. Since acute phase reactant siya, tumataas yung alpha-1 antitrypsin during inflammation. Katulad dito, as alpha-1 acid glycoprotein, acute phase reactant din siya. It means that tumataas yan, yung level niyan kapag meron inflammation. Kaya lang, napaka-general niyan, no? Non-specific. Sir, bakit non-specific? Kasi kapag katulad ni Sir Kabanatan ngayon, meron akong colds, no? Sinisipon si Sir Kabanatan, may inflammation yan. Increase na agad yung certain types of proteins. O meron kang, ito medyo malala, rheumatoid arthritis, o may inflammation doon. So tataas din yung mga levels ng proteins na yan. Systemic lupus erythematosus, inflammation ng organs, di ba? So that specific class, itong acute phase reactant. Hindi mo pwede sabihin na, ay, tumaas yung alpha-1 antitrypsin due to ganito, ganyan, no? Hindi kasi general yan eh. Basta may inflammation, tataas yan. Ito naman sa alpha-1 fetoprotein, increase yung level niyan during spina bifida, neural tube defect. These are fetal abnormalities class. Fetal distress, okay? Ano yung fetal distress? Class, yung ating lungs kasi kapag adult ka na, meron yang certain amount of or normal amount of surfactant. Siyempre yung lungs natin, di ba? It inflates and it deflates. And tumatama yan sa cavity ng body natin. So para walang friction or walang excess addition, no, yung lungs natin sa cavities, merong surfactant. Kaya lang kapag fetus ka pa lang, medyo mababa yung level of surfactant. So it can lead to fetal distress or mahirapang huminga si baby. Yan po yung ibig sabihin ng fetal distress, no? Due to low concentration of lung surfactant. So we have here alpha-1 lipoprotein. Hindi ko na isa-isahin to as is na to class. Next, we have your haptoglobin. Again, this is an acute phase reactant and binds to free hemoglobin. So for ceruloplasmin naman class, this is decreased during Wilson's disease, Benck syndrome, and Kaiser-Fraser rings. You also have your alpha-2 macroglobulin, which is the largest non-immunoglobulin in plasma. When we say non-immunoglobulin, ibig sabihin, largest major protein in the plasma or hindi po siya antibody, okay? Next, we have your pre-beta lipoprotein, transport lipids such as VLDL and triglyceride. We have your transferrin. Pasinin nyo class for transferrin. It transports iron. Kasi sabi ko kanina, hindi ko pa pala nabang ito. Transferrin class is the transport protein of iron. Again, transferrin is the transport protein of iron. So we expect an increase in transferrin if the patient has IDA. So ano yung IDA? Iron deficiency anemia. Or in case of hemochromatosis, decrease naman yung ating transferrin. Sir, bakit kaya sa case ng in case ng iron deficiency anemia, increase yung number of transferrin sa blood? Okay, ganito yon. Just imagine, konti yung iron mo sa katawan, tapos ang daming transferrin. So, ano yung na-expect mo? Okay? Wala masyadong ita-transfer si transferrin na iron. So, dumadami sila. Parang ganito lang yan klase. Nag-announce ka ng walang klase. So, walang students, di ba? Napapasok. Marami ngayong jeep sa kalsada, maraming public transport. Di ba? Parang ganun lang yun eh. Kung wala kasi silang ihahatid. Diba? So, tumataas yung level nila sa blood. Katulad nito, transferrin is increased during iron deficiency anemia. Ano naman yung hemochromatosis? Class hemochromatosis is caused by increased iron level or increased iron deposition in tissue. Example, ano nangyayari or itsura ng tissue or organ kapag meron kang hemochromatosis? There is a rust-like discoloration of the skin and organ. Rust-like as in kalawang, R-U-S-T. Nagkukulay kalawang yung organ mo at skin mo kapag meron kang hemochromatosis due to increased level of or increased deposition of iron sa tissue. You also have your hemopexin, which binds to heme. Okay, transport lipase for beta-lipoprotein. Ano naman itong component of HLA? Class, yung HLA means human leukocyte antigen. HLA means human leukocyte antigen. Next, complement. Okay, C4, C3, and C1q. These are example of complements or complement proteins. Nakalagay dyan ang function daw ng complements is for the immune response, no? Example, na-infect ka ng bacteria class. Your immune response will respond, di ba? And your complement proteins will be activated. Anong gagawin ni complements? It will destroy the bacteria. It will destroy the cell wall of the bacteria, leading to the destruction of the organism. How about your fibrinogen? It is a precursor of fibrin clot. We have also your CRP or C-reactive protein as an acute phase reactant. Ito binanggit ko na kanina, yung plasma proteins. Yung gamma globulins or what we call immunoglobulins or what we call antibodies. So, isa lang yan class iba lang ng term, no? Iba-iba lang yung term pero it's the same when it comes to function. Katulad dito, immunoglobulins your IgG. Antibodies in the secondary immune response. IgM naman, antibodies in early response. Let me give you an example, class, no? Pag na-infect ka ng virus such as COVID or COVID virus. So, during your first encounter sa virus, first exposure mo sa virus, the antibody that will be produced is IgM. Okay? Kapag na-detect natin sa body mo na mataas yung level of IgM for COVID-19, it means you have a current infection of the virus. Kapag naman IgG antibody na meron ka or increase yung IgG antibody against COVID-19, it is an indication that you have a past infection, no, of COVID-19. Ibig sabihin, gumaling ka na from COVID. Yan. Kaya nga, nakalagay din dyan sa IgG, antibodies in secondary immune response. Pwedeng nagkaroon ka rin ng recurrent infection ng COVID-19. IgG rin yung tataas dyan. How about IgA, immunoglobulin A? Antibodies in secretion. Let me give you an example. IgA class is found in colostrum or mother's milk. Okay? Sa gatas po ng babae after pregnancy. Yung gatas, meron yung IgA. And it is being transferred to the baby. Kaya sabi nga natin breastfeeding is healthy for babies. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng makuha yung IgA antibody niyan sa mga lata ng nido. Okay? Kahit gano'n pa kamahal yung gatas mo, walang IgA antibody yan. It can only be coming from the mother or mother's milk. So we have also IgE during allergy. Surface antibody naman for IgD. Okay, next, other plasma proteins. We have your myoglobin. So oxygen carrier in muscles. And myoglobin class is present in the muscles. No, it is also a marker for acute myocardial infarction or heart attack. Kaya lang class, myoglobin is non-specific. Why? Kasi if in case you have a destruction of the muscles, katulad ng muscle dystrophy or crushing injury, myoglobin will increase. So, kumbaga, pag meron kang damaged tissue, pwedeng magkaroon tayo ng increased myoglobin. Baka akalain mo inatake yung pasyente, yun pala. Dahil lang sa crushing injury. Na-aksidente siya, tinamaan yung muscles, nasira yung muscle, lumabas yung hemoglobin. Okay? Sorry, hemoglobin tuloy. Myoglobin. Maging basis ang myoglobin as an indicator of acute myocardial infarction. So, meron tayong ibang test which could actually identify heart attack. No? Katulad nito, troponin. Class troponin is the gold standard when it comes to detecting acute coronary syndrome such as acute myocardial infarction, heart attack. Kapag suspected na inaatake ka sa puso, ito lagi ang isa sa mga test na nire-request. Kasi this one is only found, tandaan yung term ha, troponin is only found in the heart. So kapag nagkaroon ng damage sa heart, lumalabas yung troponin. Okay, kaya tinetest natin yung level of troponin kapag may suspected heart attack or acute myocardial infarction. BNP is also marker for congestive heart failure. Pero class, yung BNP natin is non-specific. Parang myoglobin yan non-specific. No? For fetal fibronectin naman, increase yan for preterm labor and delivery. Now, let me proceed with the methods of analysis. Okay. As is itong reference interval. Doon tayo sa may methods. Ngayon, class, for methods na we have here Kaldal, refractometry, and refractometry by Burette method and dye binding. Out of these four, we will be doing only one method in the laboratory. That would be the Burette method, no? Formation of violet-colored chelate between cupric ions and peptide bonds. Okay? The rest, hindi natin pwedeng gawin kasi wala tayong reagent. No? And enough naman yung isang experiment for total protein. So refractometry, this one is used to determine the refractivity. This one is to determine the specific gravity of a substance. Dye binding utilizes dye and uses spectrophotometer to measure the absorbance of the protein. So, yan. So, we have here the Kaldal, no? Method. So, ano ba yung end product natin? For example, ito, ammonia measurement, Nester's reaction. Ang end product natin dyan, end result is yellow solution. For Berthellet reaction naman, ang end product natin is indophenol blue. So, how do we determine the presence of protein during the experiment? Katulad dito, kapag Kaldal yung method, conversion of nitrogen to ammonia. Remember class, protein contains nitrogen, di ba? Ang carbohydrate, pag tinignan mo yung structure ng carbohydrate, it is composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Wala siyang nitrogen. Kasi pag nilagyan mo ng nitrogen yan, protein na yun, class. That is already protein. That separates your carbohydrates from protein. Ang carbohydrates, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Ang protein, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Ito ang example ng refractometer. Nakagamit pa si Sir Cabanata nito dati. Napakasimple lang nito. You just have to add the liquid specimen here on this part. Close the cover, this one. And look at the eyepiece. Meron niyang graduation sa loob which could determine the specific gravity of the substance. Pwede mo lang gamitin to class kapag merong ilaw. Pag madilim, bawal. Parang telescope yan, class eh. You need light in order to view the graduations, syempre. Pag walang ilaw, bawal to. Okay? For Burette method naman, class, the end product is yung violet-colored solution, indicating the presence of protein. So we will be using spectrophotometer for this particular method. Next, we have your dye binding. You have to memorize, class, the different types of dye or stains used for dye binding. Okay, albumin naman, method of determination. We have salt precipitation. And ito po yung ating mga dye or stains. No? Hindi ko na isa-isayin to for memorization to part na to. Okay? Ito naman, class, yung example natin. picture no, ng electrophoresis. So inside this container class, sa loob nito, dito to, yan. We have a medium. Example, agarose gel or cellulose acetate, no, which is used for protein. Okay? So we also utilize electricity or electrical charge. Ayun, kita nyo naman siguro sa picture. Nakakonect yung black and red cable, ayan, doon sa may makina, no? Which gives electricity or charge. Ito yun. Yung specimen naman class is being dispensed on this area. So dito, 1, 2, 3, 4. So pwede ka maglagay ng 4 na specimen mo dyan, no, for testing. So just like what I've said earlier, yung ating medium use for electrophoresis is agarose gel. Diyan po gumagapang yung proteins. Di ba sabi ko kanina, albumin migrates faster than the rest. May mga certain migration din sila. And saan ba sila nagmamigrate? Or sa medium? Ito yun. Agarose gel or cellulose acetate. And utilizes Kumasi blue as a stain to visualize the bands, no, formed during the process or testing. Okay, the medium is placed in scanning densitometer which compute the area under the absorbance. Okay, next. Reference values, iwan ko na sa inyo to class, as is na yan. So kung konti na naman yung pinapamemorize kong reference value eh. Total protein, tsaka ito lang, no? Albumin and yung different globulins. Next, for total protein class determination, these are the methods. Okay, turbidimetric, Follen-Lowry, and dye binding. Actually, meron din tayo kanina, di ba? For total protein. Ano ba yun? Yun, yan. Ito. And the refractometry burette and dye binding. So, may mga additional lang tayo sa huli na nilagay.